Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Am I the Asshole? If you like hearing Reddit stories, it would really support the channel if you could like or subscribe. Now, let's get started with our first story. Am I the asshole for getting into an argument with my husband because he left me during surgery? I am 25 female and my husband 27, and I have been together for almost 4 years, and we do not have any kids. I had a same-day lumpectomy surgery yesterday. The tumor is not believed to be malignant, but I wanted it out since my mother had breast cancer. My husband got the day off work and drove me. The surgery was delayed for about 3 hours, and my husband was getting impatient. The surgeon finally came in and said she expected the surgery would take an hour. After she left, my husband said he was going to leave the hospital to get lunch when I went under since he hadn't eaten that day. I wanted him to be able to eat and was trying to be brave, but I really didn't want to be left when the surgery was only supposed to be an hour. So I asked him if we could pick up food for him on the way home. He gave me the impression he would stay, and I was wheeled away. Fast forward to 30 minutes later, I was being shaken awake by a nurse who told me I was sick and she was trying to get in touch with my husband. Apparently, during the surgery, my blood pressure dropped rapidly, and my surgeon was able to get the tumor out in 20 minutes. My BP was 70/30 by the time they got it out, and my lips had turned blue. I was very sick in my room. I was bleeding through my internal stitches, coming in and out of consciousness, and was vomiting all the while. My nurse was trying to track my husband down. My surgeon called him, but he did not answer. I'm very thankful for the sweet nurses who took care of me and reassured me. It is the next day now, and I'm very emotional and angry about the whole ordeal. My husband did not apologize and has been incredibly defensive about the whole thing. His explanation for leaving was, I went out and got lunch, and then I was getting gas because I was low from driving your ass around. The surgery was supposed to be an hour. How was I supposed to know your heart could have stopped? I told him he had one job, which was to stay with me and tell me what the surgeon says. I could get over him leaving if he was apologetic or remorseful, but am shocked at his words / how little he seems to care for someone he claims to love. In his defense, he cared for me last night when we got home, but left today after we argued. I'm sure I'm just still really emotional from anesthesia and being a bit dramatic, but I can't even look at him the same. He's usually attentive and caring, so I am baffled. I'm sure he thought the chances of anything going wrong were slim, but I can't understand his thought process. I sat for hours and hours in waiting rooms during all of my mother's breast cancer procedures and was nervous to even leave for a minute to get food. God forbid I don't have cancer because I don't trust him with anything medical now. Anyway, I'm unsure what I hope to get from writing this to strangers. I just needed to vent. Not the asshole. I'm really sorry you went through that, and he's not being supportive. Did he actually say from driving your ass around? That's incredibly insensitive. He did. That was the comment that really turned into an argument. That's honestly awful. Also, does the hospital not have a cafe? Oh, it does. You see, this event wasn't about him, it was supposed to be about OP. So he made it about him by ditching and then talking down to his wife. I saw my father do the same to my mother. He called it a waste of time to be at the hospital during her mastectomy. Unfortunately, they're still married, and it's so obvious how much they hate each other. OP, you are not the asshole. Take a hard look at your relationship. This is how it will be. He won't change, and he will actually get worse. I'm not sure anyone deserves to be so unhappy. The fact that he ignored the phone calls from the hospital is suspicious. Did he say why he did that? He said it was a few unknown phone calls from the area. That was strange to me too, because he knew the doctors had his number. Am I the asshole for being mad about my nephew beat cancer? Edit. I'm not sure about giving this edit at first, but some people missed the point about them ignoring him. The ignore is them not talking to my son at all after the quick 2 minutes happy celebration they gave to him. They didn't make any eye contact with him. It makes him nervous to talk first, as they acted like he's not there. If you ask, why didn't I start the conversation and instead go quiet? I was sad my son only got 2 minutes attention, a hand and back rub. That's it. I was too busy with my thought, and I don't know. They seemed so happy, I just couldn't bring the topic about my son into them. And it is not like I don't let them to be happy and celebrated what my nephew deserves. They already did 2 celebrations before they came to visit. A celebration for achieving remission and celebration for the bell rang. The documentations are there on the family chat group. I congratulate them, and I'm happy for them. When my nephew first diagnosed, my sister asked me a lot of questions. The cancer type are different, and I'm very happy to answer and helping what I can. Was it too much if I expected that dinner to be my son's turn to get the attention, recognition, and love? Lastly, many of you assumed it is a jealousy because my nephew is now in remission, but my son has not. It is one factor, but what I feel isn't really about the cancer or jealousy of his remission. Rather, it is the sadness because my son wanted to build a relationship with my parents, my siblings, and his cousins. They only met each other in person twice. They don't have the strongest bond, but my son loved them dearly. It is a sadness because that desire is not achieved. I understand we are far away. They are closer, and of course they are already comfortable with each other and know each other so well. But we just want to try. My son just wants to try. That's pathetic when I know that they don't have any effort to be closer to us. But I still hope they will shower my son with love that he actually deserves to get. My son recently discharged from a long hospital stay, 3 to 5 months. He was having emergency heart surgery due to ruptured aortic dissection, rare occurrence in children. They were actually kind of shocked when they found out what's going on. The surgery was 15 hours long because he was bleeding all night long, almost died. He had bleeding disorder, also extremely low platelet at the time. And the recovery was very tough. He got infection back-to-back, sepsis to septic shock, and other problems. Almost died again, put him on ECMO and ventilator, and stayed in the ICU from post-surgery day to 2 weeks before discharge. In another hand, one of nephew recently kicked cancer AITA. We are so proud and grateful. Even though it doesn't mean it's all over, but we are happy with this news. As info, my son is also battling cancer. It's been 4 years, and he's not in remission yet. Not a sink of time. And we probably would never. He's still on the battle. Last night, we were out for dinner together. There was me, my son, my husband, all my family members. They just arrived a night before from my home country. It is a holiday time for schoolers there. So that was our first dinner together. I brought up about my son, just been discharged recently after facing a big battle. That was how I phrase it. They were so happy, and my son as well. He's still weak, in pain here and there, but he's overall stable so he can be with us. Then my sister suddenly said, and my nephew just beat cancer, and clapping her hands. My family turned away from my son so fast. Congratulate them. I don't know. I'm happy for them, for my nephew, but I just sad. I can see my son forced his smile seeing them. I just hurt. I'm probably a bad person. It is not really about the attention. I don't know how to explain. I hope any of you understand. I was quiet through the dinner, majority of the time. I barely smile. My parents noticed, and they seemed not liking my behavior. I know them too well. They were talking about my nephew's cancer treatment in Singapore and their experience there. No one talked to my son. After dinner was over, my mom confronted me through texts saying, "How can I have that kind of attitude? Why am I mad about my nephew beat cancer?" I told her I wasn't. Apparently, I vomited my true feeling about the situation to her. She called me an AH, and I just don't like seeing my family being happy. And that I should grateful. At least my son isn't die. My sister blocked me. But my other siblings turned out beyond my side. Am I the asshole? 2 things can be true at once. You can be happy for your nephew and sad for your son. I think there's a lot of high-intensity emotions going on right now in your family, and no one is thinking clearly about the situation. Life's the asshole for giving kids cancer. Edit, no assholes here, just for the record. Sending you love, OP, hang in there. Thank you for your comment. I think you are right. They'll be here for 2 weeks. Maybe we can fix the situation. Ope, not the asshole. I think your sister doesn't know how to read a room. She practically interrupted you and didn't give any attention to her nephew. She then had to start talking about her son. I don't think you're mad about your nephew. I think you're pissed at your sister for her crappy timing. She could have said something, acknowledging how strong her nephew is for fighting through his battles. She then could have gone into saying something like, "It's always hard when our kids have health struggles. I am so grateful for my nephew getting better and for my son beating his cancer. Let's all take a moment and acknowledge how strong both of these boys are." Edit, grammar's typo. Hi, I don't know you, but thank you so much. Even though you're just giving away an example of better approach, but it is just so peaceful to read. I'm literally have watery eyes reading your comment. Sorry for being overreacting, but I'm really sad about the situation. I don't mad at my nephew at all, not even at my sister, but I just wish they have more love to show their nephew-grandson that lives 6 hours flight from their home, that they only see once every few years. They can be happy, of course. I'm happy for them too, but they're living close to each other. They see each other daily. I mean, please be here for my son too for a while. He needs his family's support as well. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the Books? I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.